I was just always on something. I just basically used any woman that was in my path. At heart, I was a hedonist. I am absolutely shattered to know that my hero was at his root and his core, he was a liar. It just ripped my heart out. I didn't step foot into another church for 19 years. I kept getting this terrible depression, and I found that it would go away when I started drinking. Literally for 19 years, I stayed intoxicated or inebriated. I would go to bed drunk. I would wake up still drunk. During the day, I'd be popping Vicodin and pills, and I'd carry a little bullet of cocaine so I could, get my ups and my downs. So I kept having car accident after car accident. I couldn't hear anything. I thought maybe I was dead. 2,000 stitches in my body. We had people that were offering us $25 million. A multimillionaire was not enough. I wanted to be a billionaire. I wanted it all. I guess I wasn't willing to change. Doc goes, "Greg, we need to talk. You're terminal." I'm a dead man. Absolutely, without a doubt, I know I'm dying. It was a typical American household. Our family went to church. We did all supposedly the right things. My father was one of the deacons in our church, a little Southern Baptist church in Greenville, South Carolina, like, the belt buckle of the Bible Belt kind of thing. It was a Christmas day, and I'm sitting at the Christmas tree. My uncle sexually molested me at the Christmas tree. And I didn't understand. I was 6 years old, and I think I just kind of buried it. Then I was really confused. I was awakened sexually at 6 years of age, and then I understood how that was wrong. And then I thought, I felt so guilty, like I had done something wrong. And so when I was 7 or 8, I started playing doctor with girls. And so it kept going on, and it got worse and worse. I ended up getting a girl pregnant at a very young age. I remember one night, just really crystal clear, when I was 12 years old, that it was right after the preacher had spoken, and he shared about Jesus, and then they started playing that music, like at the end of Billy Graham, that "Just As I Am," and they played it like 50 chorus lines. I'm going, dude, is this ever going to end? I'm ready to get out of here. Man, I was white-knuckling the pews like this. I'm like, I'm not going down there. I can outlast this song. I really can. And the next thing I know, it's just like, am I really doing this? Am I really going to give my life to Jesus? And I walked down there, and my life changed from that time on. And it seemed like the stuff that happened when I was 6 just kind of disappeared. I didn't think about it anymore. My father, who was head of the deacons, he got caught cheating on my mother with the secretary of his company. And then it came out. My mom found out about it, and then the church found out about it. And what ensued was what they called church discipline, where they basically remove him from leadership in the church. And what I sensed in that whole thing was there wasn't any love involved in it. It just seemed harsh. And I kept hearing all these whispers and gossip in a little 70-person Southern Baptist church, and I'm like, I can't believe this. I mean, I'm already angry with my father. I mean, when I hear the news about Dad, I am absolutely shattered. I mean, I am devastated to know that my hero was at his root and his core, he was a liar. And it felt like that's exactly what all the church was, a bunch of lying hypocrites. And I left that church that day when I was 14, and I didn't step foot into another church for 19 years. I kept getting this terrible depression, and I found that it would go away when I started drinking. And I started drinking just light beer stuff, and then it started getting heavier and heavier. And then I discovered marijuana when I was 15, and then I think it just kept snowballing. I just felt like I wanted to kill myself the minute I sobered up. Literally for 19 years, I stayed intoxicated or inebriated in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And I know that sounds like there's no way somebody could stay that messed up for 19 years. I meet whole sets of new friends and make whole new sets of friends, and so they never know that I'm either drunk or I'm stoned or on some type of pill. They just think that's who Greg is. Greg is just a happy-go-lucky guy. He doesn't really care about anything. He's just going about his life, and he wants to make a bunch of money and just hang out on a beach somewhere and smoke dope and look at girls. That's who Greg is. And so I had multiple girlfriends in this period of time that I took their virginity on and on like that. I just basically used any woman that was in my path. I manipulated. I mean, 19 years was nothing but a wake. I mean, a wake. A train wreck in people's lives that I devastated. I mean, I had 13 car accidents in the period of like 5 or 6 years, and I totaled all 13 cars. I mean, 2,000 stitches in my body. I've broken like every bone in my body except my hard head, you know, and I still couldn't get it. I still couldn't learn. I just kept, you know, I'm like, dude, cool. I ended up in the hospital. Hey, look, morphine, sweet, this rocks, man. And then I get out, I get more pills, Vicodin, yeah, this is good. I got in my car and I'm doing 110 miles an hour down a road with no lights on. And for some reason I thought it would be cool to race. Yeah, I was drunk, I was on drugs and everything else. And all of a sudden it's getting ready to go around the bend, and I just keep going off straight. And then I hit tree after tree after tree, and finally I hit an oak tree. I was just messed up. I was pinned, I was bleeding all here. They actually had to push back in my intestines. I had internal bleeding. I almost died. I bruised my heart. I smashed my leg. I mean, take a look at this. This is just horrible. Look at this. I smashed my leg when I hit the tree. It actually just crushed it like this. I have one bone in my leg by the time they put it together. And I'm getting just tons of free drugs. You know, my girlfriend at the time was going and buying me, you know, big, huge half-gallons of Crown Royal. And so I'm drinking and doing drugs. And so even though the pain was bad, it wasn't like unbearable because, you know, I was totally medicated. At that time, I had an old MG that I had redone, a nice convertible, and I really dug it. I left this bar called the Wicked Witch in South Carolina. I'm like, dude, that's like suitable, because that's what you felt like when you left that place. I had forgotten my keys, and so I'd hot-wired my car, and the little wire had fallen off when I was driving down the road. And so I'm looking on the ground because my car starts cutting off and decelerating, and I look down for a second, and the next thing I know, I see headlights right in front of me, and I swerve onto the oncoming lane, and I hit this BMW head on.